Yo, crew members, what it be?
What's going on, everybody? Oh, shit.
What the hell?
I told you. I told Wes before we even cut these mics on, I had a really aggressive sneeze the other day, bit the side of my tongue. So if you hear anything weird, it's because there's like a hole in the side of my tongue. But to get this thing crack-a-lacking right away, we might as well address the orangutan not in the room, which is Anthony. Anthony has a drill weekend, so he will not be here. I would have said the elephant not in the room, but orangutan, he's got a long ass arms.
Gorilla, something like that.
Gorilla, yeah. So he will not be here today. So it is just Wes and I kicking it by ourselves, which is
A little weird,
even though it was familiar for about 10 months during,
during Anthony's deployment,
So, the one nice thing, I don't have to swivel my chair today.
Yeah, you can be lazy today.
I can just look right at you. But, so we had last week.
Last week we had a little bit of Ubisoft. They had we had some Gamescom stuff we talked about, and then Ubisoft had their Forward. We talked about that.
We did, and then since then, we've had
some shit happen.
Yeah, we've had some shit happen. The main thing this week being on Wednesday, right?
Wednesday
was the
PlayStation
I'm assuming
event.
the last PlayStation event.
It would have
PS5.
to be. Yeah.
I would assume, maybe there's something else on the books they haven't told us about, but it was what I would assume to be, or what we would assume to be, PlayStation's last event. That, we'll cover everything. To both of us, I feel like we'd say it was a little lackluster, and there's been some wild confusion to come out of it. We'll address all of that. But in addition to that, we also have, I believe you have some.
I have some stuff that came out of the PAX West. Their whole virtual conference that they're doing, which is a lot of Gearbox stuff. So yes. Everybody be shocked as you can be shocked. Wes is going to talk about Borderlands 3. Oh my god.
Quick question. Unless I've missed it, how do you not have any Borderlands apparel yet? Do you have a Borderlands shirt or anything?
No, actually I don't.
My goodness. If only Gearbox knew how much they should just send you for free.
Fucking right. You hear that?
My man.
You hear that?
But so, yeah, you need to.
You kidding me? Yo, I've been debating, look, it'll cost some money, and it also cost my wife's approval that I'll need, but
making your own claptrap.
God, I would love that. That would be awesome. But then I have to figure out where to put them, man. I have stairs everywhere. I can't.
Stairs? No.
Well, nah, man. But I would love to go ahead and just get some type of like Borderlands type tattoo. You know what I'm saying? It's just it is such a part of my life.
You need to get you a shirt that just says like "Rep the Waist" or something.
I love it.
I don't know.
Pandora till I die, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. You could get a cool. That's actually something we should throw up a poll or something on Twitter, or maybe just throw anything up on our social media, asking people what a good Borderlands tattoo would be.
Ooh.
And maybe if you get drunk enough and your wife signs off on it, you get it one day. If it's not anything crazy,
dude. I would even think about getting partial like siren relic tattoos on me. Like, look, I don't know how good that baby blue would look on my skin, but I'm a little mocha. I'm a little light skinned.
You a little mocha. You a little frappuccino.
So yeah, we have a little bit of Gearbox stuff for you guys, and then also a handful of news. Obviously, we always hold that until the end, and then Andy has actually been playing something.
Yay!
So what are we playing is going to be geared a little more towards him than me, because I actually haven't touched much of anything this week.
Yay! All right.
Yay!
Well, shit. Let's jump right in.
Let's go.
So yeah, on Wednesday we had the PlayStation event that everyone kind of knew that basically what this was going to be for was to finally figure out what the price was going to be and the release date, because they still hadn't given anything after Xbox.
So to go ahead and just give a little bit of back information to you guys, there was a leak that happened within Microsoft to where that the Xbox Series S, which is the Project Lockhart, which is the smaller version, it's basically the geared down version of a next gen console.
It's like somewhere in between the Series X and the
One S.
And the One S, yeah.
Yeah. So that there was information about that to where that the price was leaked. And then from there, like 2 days later, the price was leaked about the Series X. So Microsoft basically said, "Hey, we might as well just make it fucking official."
Yeah, man, it is what it is.
You know what I mean? So the Series S is $299, and then the Series X is $499. And then they also dropped the release date of what it's going to be, which is November 10th, and they also dropped the actual pre-order date, which is September 22nd, which by the time this podcast airs, you have 1 day to order it. That's all it's going to be. You have 1 day left before you can order your Xbox Series X. Do it now.
Sound the alarms. 1 day left.
But because of that, and because everybody was screaming at fucking PlayStation, like Sony, like, dude, give us something. Give us fucking something. They were like, okay, they basically just said,
fuck it, we have to now.
Honestly, they basically just said, have this. Basically just threw, because I will say, man, this was so lackluster to me.
This event just didn't see. You got a point. It didn't seem well thought out. It almost seemed like something that they forced to come out to have something to go along with. You know.
Yes, because there are certain games that they could have went ahead and did with this. I mean, with this event, that would have made a lot of people look at it a lot more interestingly. I mean, especially use many more first party games, which is something that Sony is infamous for, like Godfall. Yeah. That would have been a great one to see more of, especially with that game coming out in like 2 months. Or actually, yeah, it coming out in 2 months. Or like Horizon. You know what I mean? Another game, that we should at least be able to see some type of gameplay on. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or just give us another pretty trailer. Just something, dude.
That's what makes me wonder if there will be one more event. I mean, they haven't said anything because, yeah, you would think that they would cover their first-party games, and especially ones that are going to be available at launch. You'd think that they'd want to overload your brain with why you should get this versus the Xbox right away. We have this, and this. And really, even though we will cover all of it, with the exception of a couple new things, they didn't show us anything that, the games that they showed we had seen already and were already pretty excited about, so it didn't make us any more or less excited about them.
But actually, let me go ahead and just throw something else completely separate. So obviously we have this thing on YouTube and this whole thing. So what I really want everybody to do is, as they say, smash that subscribe button and hit a like. And go ahead and follow us. That way we can give you guys more of this content. We are going to start recording more of our normal gameplay, so that way we can make videos for you guys and put them out on YouTube as well. We are going to lean more towards doing that. Yeah. So, and then also, if you listen to us on, since we're on this whole platform talk right now, anyway, if you listen to us on any of the podcast platforms that have ratings and reviews and comments, please do so for us. Give us a 5-star rating or whatever star you want. Give us a comment. Tell us you like this, you don't like this. If you don't like something, we'll talk about it. Either we'll fix it because we're like, hey, something, you're probably right about that. Or we're going to say, look, that's just us. So, yeah, look, it is what it is. So we would love for y'all to go ahead and throw us those 5 stars in those comments. So please do.
Are we ready to start?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the first game that we got to see was, looked like it was just a regular trailer for a cinematic trailer. It was Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. It took me a second because I'm a little hazy with Roman numerals. So I was looking at it, I was like, I was using my fingers and shit. I was like, what? How is that going to help, number one? But I was like, it got to the point where I'm just like, oh, Final Fantasy XVI.
Yeah, nice.
Final Fantasy XVI.
I love that XVI, man. Yeah, so, like I said, for a cinematic trailer, it gave you all the pretty shit you wanted.
It wasn't just cinematic, though. They showed some gameplay in there.
Did they?
Yeah. They showed some gameplay in there.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the melee combat and stuff like that.
The melee combat and going against that big, like, plant-looking thing. The big, like, blob plant-looking thing, yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
Now, we should preface this by saying that neither Wes nor myself have... I haven't played a Final Fantasy game since the very first one that was turn-based on, I believe it was NES.
And I haven't played a Final Fantasy game since ever.
Yeah, so we're not, we're not going to be a fountain of knowledge on how great this one would be compared to the other ones. All we can say is it looks really good. They all look really good. Actually, as we were watching it, the first thing I said was I'm almost mad at myself that I've never devoted enough time to playing a Final Fantasy game.
I do know that so the Final Fantasy VII Remake is currently on Game Pass.
Cool.
So if you have Game Pass, you can go ahead and mess around with that. And another thing I know is that they, with everything moving more towards like that, just the regular style RPGs that everybody normally plays, they went away from the turn-based. The turn-based attacks. Now it's much more of an open world style.
It seems a lot more like hack and slash type of thing.
Yeah,
but the combat still looks great. It looks fluid. Everything's bright and vibrant. Final Fantasy always has great graphics and stuff like that. And like you said, with 7 being on Game Pass, I believe that's the one people usually point to as being kind of like the turning point of the franchise.
It is
where it kind of like really took off.
I think it is the most famous Final Fantasy game that I have ever heard people talk about.
I mean, think about it. When that remake first came out, I forget what was coming out around it. There was some bangers coming out around it, but that was what got the bulk of people's excitement.
Yes,
was a remake, a game they'd played before.
Yeah,
you know what
I mean? And go ahead and just drop a little nugget for my friends. Unknown Game Podcast. I know Adrian and Alex went ahead and played the Final Fantasy VII remake. When it dropped, and they had nothing but great things to talk about it. So
this one looks great. It looks just as great as the rest of them. So I assume if you've played the rest, you're gonna enjoy this one.
Expect nothing less.
And I could do more information. I don't know if they all follow one another, so I don't know if it's one where if you haven't played one, you can just as well start with this one.
Yeah.
I can find that information, but yeah, it looks great. And honestly, that being the first trailer they showed, I was super optimistic for how this
whole thing would go.
Showcase was going to go. I was like, all right, this is where we're at. And there were some highlights. Actually, the next one was a highlight as well.
The next one we're going to talk about is definitely a highlight, but that mainly because we got gameplay. We got gameplay off of it, and this is one that had gameplay. I will say it had gameplay off of PS5 hardware on a PC. It wasn't off of the PS5. And the game we're talking about is Spider-Man Miles Morales,
which looked incredibly fantastic. It didn't look that different from
the other Spider-Man game.
The Spider-Man game, the same idea. It looked a lot cleaner. Combat looked super fun. Like everything you feel like you would get from playing as Spider-Man, it looks like you get.
Yes.
But Wes said we got some more gameplay, and we got to see, what we feel like is what really makes those games stand out are those like big. They almost feel like cinematic moments, but they're not. Those big moments where bridges are collapsing and cars are going everywhere, and you said they were QTEs, is how they were in the last game.
It is QTE-esque. Now what they were doing in Miles Morales, it looked a lot more like the Marvel Avengers game. Okay. It's where like you had to go ahead, you had to hit the button like at a certain time, but you had time, before it went away.
Yes.
Or you had to like hardcore tap it to go ahead and get done what you had to get done.
So maybe like a slightly more forgiving QTE.
I would agree with that.
Basically. Now in the Avengers game, are there like, is it one of those things where if you miss one of those you automatically fail? Or if you miss one, does then something else happen that you have to try
I am not entirely sure. I only played the beta. I did not buy the game.
Okay.
But later on this year, hopefully we can get Mike from the Twisted Cape on because he just finished the game last night.
Of course he did. Jesus. My man.
So and I mean he and I we were talking about getting him on to go ahead and talk about that game. So
word. But yeah, no, Miles Morales looks fantastic.
It looked good. It looked very good. Now, the one thing about that game I will say is that game will be coming out for PS4 as well as PS5. So just have that in mind.
And okay, yeah. Nope,
and it's another one of the ones that where Xbox is calling smart. I don't know what PlayStation's calling it.
That's what I was about to ask. Does PlayStation have something kind of like smart delivery where if you have it for PS4, you don't then again have to purchase it for PS5?
For certain games, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, look, certain games are going to be like Control. You know what I mean? To where you have to buy you have to buy the next gen version or some shit like that.
That's the only game we've heard of so far that's still forcing you to do that.
That still grinds my fucking gears.
You and me both, and Anthony as well, said the same thing. Like, why are you making us purchase this game twice?
Yeah.
That's just rude.
Yeah.
It's one thing if everybody was doing it. It was like, all right, we can just do what everyone else is doing.
I mean, look, if you're just going to say, okay, this game is only going to be next gen, fine. Say it's only PS5, it's only Series X. But going ahead and saying it can be played on the 4 or the 5, but you have to buy the other one, like it's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
So the next one that we saw was something that you got stupid excited for, and I really didn't expect that.
I didn't expect it either. Never heard of it.
It's called Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah, so Portkey Games, who apparently does nothing but stuff for the Wizarding World, Harry Potter. That's all they do are, games related to the Harry Potter universe. So it's this game called Hogwarts Legacy, which I'm excited for how the game looks, but I'm also excited for like looking beyond this game and seeing what they can do with it and what they can do further down the road. Apparently, it's an open world RPG set like in the Harry Potter universe, but this is early 1800. This is before Harry Potter and all them, where you end up in Hogwarts. They don't they don't give you a whole lot necessarily of what the story is, with the exception of, I'm guessing, you creating your character, and it's one of those games where you kind of decide what happens. You can be good, you can be evil, and the world will, change as such, depending on what
I wonder if it has
decisions
like
you
that
make.
Mass Effect, like Paragon type of system.
See, now I was excited at first just seeing the person in Hogwarts and figuring out the mysteries and stuff like that. But once they said that there was a world beyond, outside of Hogwarts, and then seeing all these crazy creatures and different places to go, and then once I found out it was open world, I was like, oh, I'm sold. And it seems like a game that they can create multiples off of afterwards.
Yes.
I love the idea of a game that's set in a certain universe where you don't have to play as an already existing character. You can make your own. Just like that's why I love, or I would love a game like Star Wars where you don't have to play as Anakin or
Luke
or anything like that, where you can create your own. And the Harry Potter universe is like such a perfect
place to do it.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah, because you can make yourself as anonymous as you want, or you can make yourself as omnipotent and just as powerful. You mean to go ahead and like, okay, no, I am the star of the fucking show.
Yeah, and this got me super excited. And this is for someone who knows virtually nothing about Harry Potter. I've seen the first movie and part of the second movie. That was it. Nothing against it. It just never worked out for me to see the rest. My wife loves them.
Yeah,
she's seen all. Is pretty much would be my go-to for any information on any of them. And when I showed her, she got excited as well. Just hearing the music. She got excited.
Now, another thing that has to do with Harry Potter is, so there has been a lot of controversy going on recently with J.K. Rowling and
touche. I'm glad you're covering this.
Yeah, and the comments that she has made public that have been considered transphobic,
that she kind of doubled down with.
Yeah,
in her newest.
So WB Games. They're the ones that are running this whole show. Games being developed by a company called Avalanche, but WB Games has said that J.K. Rowling she is not directly involved with this RPG game. So I know people. Hell, I am a person. Who doesn't go to certain places or deal with certain things because the owners are this, that, or the other, or the people that created are whatever the case may be.
Just people whose business you don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to give them your business. There's more wholesome places you can give your business.
Absolutely. So this game is fairly far enough away from J.K. Rowling to where that if you are a Harry Potter fan that absolutely does not agree with her stance, her stance on things,
you can still get it without feeling you're supporting her.
You can still get this game. Without feeling like. Yeah, without actually feeling like you're supporting her. So,
yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah. Oh no, when you start talking about it, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta find this article.
Yeah, because as soon as I saw that game, and then as soon as I saw her trending on Twitter, and I read all that, I was like, damn it, like in good conscience, can I even get this game now? But you telling me that, I feel a lot better. Like, because if I knew that like a shitload of money was gonna end up in her pocket,
it would make it a little tougher to buy.
It would make it tougher.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I don't agree with that.
So the next game that they showed was Call of Duty Cold War.
Looked so sick.
Look, man.
Sick. It gave us more than we got the last time we saw the Call of Duty, so it was nice to see. And we didn't have gameplay the first time, did we? It was all cinematic, right?
It was all cinematic.
Yeah, so this time we actually got to see some gameplay.
Yeah, we saw the mission to where you had to identify a target and then take him out, and then you had to follow this plane. And then you took this little RC car that went weaving in and out of these different Jeeps and everything that were in the way. And you had to get it right under the plane and blow it up. And you were controlling the RC car. You had a sniper rifle, which looked like you could slow down time. So that was pretty cool.
I didn't know if you could actually do that or if that was just part of that part of that mission where as soon as you hit the thing, it's going to go in slow-mo no matter what.
Oh, what? Like if you hold your breath? Like it immediately goes into slow-mo?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. But, the way it was set up...
And then it looked like you had some type of M4 carbine, as a regular assault rifle. That looked pretty clean to go ahead and use. Yeah,
the way it was set up, like as you were overlooking the runway, it seemed like you missed your target at first. You took a shot at your target, you missed. They were able to get on the plane. Plane started taking off. And then like Wes said, you had a little firefight and then got to control this little RC car strapped with a bomb, and that looked like so much fun.
To backtrack a little bit, they had some gratuitous fucking deaths in this.
Oh yeah, there was a moment where it was like Doom Eternal.
They had a dude that got stabbed. You stab him in the neck, and then you shoot him square in the forehead. It's like, okay, I understand killing a guy, but really?
I mean, I guess you wanted to be a little compassionate because a stab in the neck, you're probably not gonna die right away. So he's like, "Fuck it, I'll put you out your misery," maybe type of thing.
And then, I mean, there was another guy using it as a fucking shield. There was some shit going on. It was wild.
And then after using him as a shield, stuck a grenade like
in his pocket,
kicked him away, and he blew up, I think, somebody else with him. I was like, that was super cool.
It was pretty sick, I will have to say.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, so look, man, we all know what's going to happen with these games. You're going to end up getting a banger of a fucking campaign. Hopefully it's a long enough campaign to where I might actually buy the fucking thing.
We've said this time and time again.
I love them, dude. I love Call of Duty campaigns, but they are so fucking short.
You know what would be sick? Never going to happen. I don't think it would ever happen. What would be sick is if you know you're someone that doesn't play a lot of multiplayer, if you can purchase a version of a game that's cheaper that is just the single player stuff.
God, I would love that.
To where if you could just pay, if it's an 8-hour campaign, you just pay $20. But then you don't have any access to any of the multiplayer stuff.
Which is fine for me personally because I don't need it.
That's what I mean. Now, I know for people, like I know the multiplayer in those games is fire. We just don't do a lot of it.
It's just not our style of game.
Yeah, we've kind of walked away from it a little bit. There are things that we like to play together, but we seem far more interested in like single player story campaigns and stuff like that, or games like Borderlands where you can play a campaign together, stuff like that. But the whole like PvP type of thing is not what we do much of anymore.
Not really.
But it still looks great, and yeah, that would be so cool if they could do that. I don't know that it'll ever happen.
But once again, the graphics in it looked amazing. I mean, everything just looked so good.
Yeah.
So next one was something that gave us basically nothing.
Is this the one that's going to make me angry?
Probably. Resident Evil 8, The Village.
So frustrating because that's a game that I'm so excited for. And all my friends know, and anyone that's listening to this podcast knows that I am like an all things horror junkie. I love horror games, horror movies, all of it. And being on record with Resident Evil 7 in VR being up there, if not the greatest experience I've ever played.
You did claim it as the greatest.
I believe I waffled a bit because I did say that if it wasn't in VR, I don't know that it would have been.
Yeah, but
still would have been great.
You made the classification.
VR,
made the classification that Biohazard in VR was the best gaming experience that you've had.
Yeah, because it was an experience. Like I felt like I was there. So they set the bar stupid high because that was also, think about it, that was right after the VR came out. That was the first game that I played. So that was available pretty much right away. And so to have that level of a game as soon as that type of tech dropped was wild. So they probably made a mistake setting the bar that high. And this one, I'm sure will be great, but they gave us in this showcase virtually nothing. In the last showcase they had, or the first one, they showed it was probably like a solid 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes maybe of slight gameplay, mostly cinematic. Just
in this
one, here and there.
In this one, they basically just told you an old lore, an old wives' tale.
Which they told you in the last one as well.
From the village.
Yeah, which they told you in the last one as well.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they told you in the last one, but they just didn't show. This time they showed like a little. It looked like very Tim Burton style.
I was just about to say, Tim Burton, like Carol,
type fucking
Coraline type look.
Yeah, where they were like showing them acting out the story, but you still got nothing because remember, I don't know if you're familiar with the franchise. At the end, when they showed the trailer the first go around, you saw Chris Redfield come in and executed Ethan's wife.
Yes.
Which, that's where I was like, the first thing I said was, I need more information.
And they basically picked up from that spot because they went ahead and said, take him.
Yeah, you just see Chris Redfield and Ethan basically goes, dude, like, what the hell? And Chris Redfield just says, take him. Someone hits you with a gun, and that's it. So they still gave you really no more information as to why that happened. And I guess that part's fine. I guess they want you to figure that out in the game. But after that, they told you the same tale as the first one. They showed you the same enemies that you saw in the first one.
I will say
and it was shorter.
I will say that it did look like their to me, with a handful of the way some of the graphics looked, it looked like there is going to be a VR aspect to it. There were one or two scenes to where the graphics just looked kind of scaled down.
Yeah,
because dude, that's what you need because the VR, you know what I mean, VR is much more about just being immersed in the experience, not necessarily about the full capacity of the graphics.
Yeah, but what you'll notice when you like, especially if you played Resident Evil 7, which I know there are other games with great graphics, but that was probably the most polished one that I played, and I know from being in, like, if you're in there playing it, it looks far more polished than the people are seeing what you're seeing on the screen.
Yeah.
On the screen, it doesn't look bad. It just, like, you can tell it's not what it would have been probably if you were just playing it on the console. So I'm hoping you're right, because that would be dope. But I'm just disappointed that they didn't give anything. It was a shorter trailer. They gave nothing new. And that's something that I was really excited to see something about, because that's a gaming experience I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
So, hopefully more is to come down.
Hopefully we'll get something, man. So the next one we definitely got more on, and this is Deathloop.
Oh yeah, and we were excited about that before.
We were excited about it because it's just a game that if you die, you go back X amount of time, and you need to go ahead and basically do your mission over and try to do it differently, because obviously the way you did it the first time wasn't the right way to do it. The game wants you to follow a line, but it gives you so many different
ways
tendrils.
Yeah.
Tendrils of avenues.
Yeah.
I like using tendrils. I feel like that's a good one to use.
If I ever thought that I'd be sitting across from you and you'd be using tendrils in a sentence, I'd be like, I don't know about all
Look, sometimes I'm proud of myself, okay?
Hey, tendrils. I like it.
So they were showing you trying to kill this scientist named Igor, and the big thing is that he never shows up at this one party of another character that you need to kill. And the reason why is because he figures out some type of scientific breakthrough.
Scientific breakthrough.
Yes. It's at some point in the morning. So you need to stop that. So you need to go in and destroy whatever he has in order to get him all depressed and sad and not make his breakthrough. Then he goes to the party that you can then kill him and another guy. I think it was Alexis. Was the other guy's name? Alexis, something like that.
No, I believe it was Alexis. Yeah.
But even if you kill these people, you're still being hunted by somebody else who goes ahead and kills you, to where they make you go back and have to do shit over again.
Yeah, and like, it's cool the way they put it is like, you have all these people that you're trying to take out. This other person...
You have 8 people totally that you need to take out. And it seems like within a section of time.
Yeah.
And then she only has one mission. To kill you.
Yeah. Her job seems a little easier.
Absolutely.
They're a little more straightforward.
Definitely more straightforward.
But it's a great concept for a game. Like, it's nothing to my knowledge, that we've seen before. I always like when you get a new, fresh idea.
Yeah.
And this seems like that. So I don't know. It seems like, since there are multiple ways to do things, it seems like a game that you might be able to get a good amount of replay value out of.
I think so.
I think we'll see.
I think it might be one of those. And the next one, I was actually disappointed in.
I think I was too, because I believe this is what we were excited about before.
Well, I mean, this one that I was just excited about before, because it's a game that I played back on the old systems. So it's Oddworld Soulstorm, and
they did for you what Resident Evil did for me.
They did nothing. They gave me nothing.
Yeah.
All they gave me was an opening cinematic that I didn't see before, to where they're talking about the Abe and his people destroying their setting fire to their little hideout. Other than that, it was basically the same fucking shit they were showing me before. Yeah,
they really showed no more of the gameplay. They didn't further any more of what the story might be. There was a funny moment at the end.
He had about a dozen of his of his kind, his people, and he made them all stop, and they were like, "I'm hungry, I'm tired, can't go to sleep."
Yeah,
and then you hear Abe go quiet, and somebody goes,
yeah, like that was funny. But again, these are all things you're going to get from the game anyway, if you've played it. And if you haven't played it, I don't know that
you're not going to understand shit.
I don't know that it would have made you want to purchase it.
No, I don't think so.
So I feel like that one fell flat a little bit as well. Go figure. The two of the things that are like Resident Evil, which is such a nostalgic franchise for me, and Oddworld, even more so for you, because
that was PS1 and PS2, dude. That was dude, they haven't had an Oddworld game in fucking decades, dude.
Yeah, so they haven't given us much. I wonder if they're, especially with Oddworld, if they're just counting on the name itself to sell you on it.
I hope not, because I have heard almost nobody ever say how much they love playing those games. I mean, Abe's Odd World and Abe's Odyssey.
Yeah, so I
You
would
know what I'm
hope
saying?
that
Like,
it wouldn't
I mean,
be that way either.
I say it only because like my uncle bought it for me or for my sister or something like that. And we played it and we just fell in love with it.
Yeah.
But I would have never bought it on my own.
I feel
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So what we got next? Oh, we got a fucking freaky ass one. Well, a game that I think is freaky. I don't know. I still don't know shit about these games at all. So it's Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach.
Yeah, so Five Nights at Freddy's, I know, has a crazy following because
It really does.
I have seen so many videos. I never fully understood it. Like, it literally looked like Chuck E. Cheese went fucking haywire.
Yeah.
And, like, just got all haunted and shit, and you're being, stalked by
all the animatronics just went batshit fucking crazy. They
Yeah.
became sentient.
Yeah, I do believe... I'm going to look it up. I believe it was something where you have to, like, survive the night in this place or survive a certain amount of time.
I'm guessing it'll be Five Nights.
In this
I mean,
place.
since
Ha! Touche. Touche, bro. Touche, bro. Shit. I feel like a real idiot. So, the main Five Nights of... Shut up. The main Five Nights at Freddy's series consists of the horror-themed video games in which the player is usually a nighttime employee at a location connected with Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, a fictional children's restaurant similar to Chuck E. Cheese and Showbiz Pizza. The restaurant has life-size animatronic characters that perform at children's parties. They wander the restaurant at night, and the guard is instructed to watch over them, since the previous guards were attacked and killed by the characters. To progress through the games, the player must guard themselves from the animatronics with a variety of tools. For the most part, however, the player remains stationary in their defense. In the first game, the player can control 2 security doors connecting their office to adjacent hallways as a barrier against animatronics in the vicinity. Each night, the player has a power supply which depletes faster when the tool is used. And if the player exhausts the power supply, the doors will remain open, allowing an animatronic to breach the office. So yeah, you definitely have to survive. Now, this newest one...
Security Breach.
Security Breach. I just actually saw...
You just thought?
I just thought.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know where it went. Oh, okay. So.
Okay.
No, I didn't see it. Never mind. But anyway, this is basically the same type of thing. But yeah, I do believe, was it not the game?
Maybe you're outside of that room. Maybe you're not in the security room. Maybe you have to survive out in the place.
Well, I guess. But I do believe that they were, what I was going to say before is I do believe that they were originally released on mobile, like Android, iPhone, stuff like that. But yeah, I know it's got a hell of a following, and it looks creepy as shit. I'm not going to lie. Like, it looks mad creepy. So if you're a fan of that franchise, I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. If not, I mean, maybe give it a whirl if survival horror is your thing.
No.
I mean, it is my thing, but we'll see.
All right, so we just got done with Five Nights at Freddy's. The next one we got going is Demon Souls.
You and I had, like, pretty much the same idea. But we were, like, back and forth on this thing. Now, we know people were excited about this game because we saw the reaction when they showed the trailer. They showed just a cinematic trailer at the, maybe a month ago?
I think so, yeah.
Or something like that at the last PlayStation event. They showcased this, and I didn't know much about Demon Souls. I didn't realize how much of a following it had, but it got a hell of a reception.
Yeah, it's not one of those games that I know about, but yeah, man. So it looks like you're a reincarnated knight, essentially, and
that's what we got from the trailer. The gameplay in the trailer that we got from this is what it seemed like. Yeah,
and then it looks like for the most part you have a one-hit kill style until you hit like big bad bosses, and then it's and then it's a little bit harder.
Yeah, basically you saw this knight just running roughshod through everything. This thing was just running through hallways.
A shield and a sword.
A shield and a sword. Literally everything he sliced was going down in one shot, or stabbed was going down in one shot. We spoke about how it looked. He looked a little bit too overpowered, it seemed, because even when he went against someone that was far more heavily armored than him, he would hold up his shield, the dude was bashing him, and he didn't even move.
You didn't see any movement.
Like, there was no, like, resistance or anything.
No,
like,
basically no game physics.
Yeah, it just seemed like he was just kind of stuck there. I mean, maybe they cleaned that up. I don't know. But that was a little weird. But it did seem like they base a lot of their game on, they sell it on the boss battles, because the boss battles looked very, if you've ever played Dark Souls, Bloodborne, it looked like that, where you are very, very small in comparison to these gigantic
I mean, you saw
creatures.
This fucking behemoth with this giant ass axe. You saw
like a fire-breathing dragon.
Yeah, you saw you saw a fire-breathing spider.
Yeah.
I mean, look, man, you saw some shit.
Yeah. I mean, graphics-wise, it looked good.
Graphics-wise, looked good. I mean,
looked good.
The bosses looked really good.
Yeah, the physics just seemed a little wonky, but that's something.
He also had some weird
be...
teleporting thing that he was able to do. He be able to go basically a sword and a stone, and then just kind of stand there with his aura being around him, and then he'd transport to a different place.
Yeah, but it's definitely something that I believe Warren's keeping an eye on for sure, because
it piqued my interest enough because I'm like, I know nothing about it, so let me go ahead and see what comes of it.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was cool.
So now here's a game that I know nothing about, but I still don't want to play it. And they just dropped more information. They dropped the trailer for Fortnite. I believe...
Don't sound so upset.
Dude,
it's not necessarily upset. It's just you expect it at this point. Every event for every system...
Every event has fucking Fortnite. Every single thing.
And hey, shout out to the motherfuckers that came out with Fortnite because y'all are geniuses, apparently.
Look, y'all... Y'all made money, man. Y'all made clean-ass money.
Yeah, I know people have a lot of fun with it. I'm not knocking it. Whatever you have fun with doing, that's totally fine.
Ding!
Shite!
You tried your best, bro.
I tried my best. We almost got through this whole damn segment with nothing. And then no. But yeah, I forget what it was for Fortnite because at this point I'm starting to lose track, but it's usually either new skins or something.
Yeah. I mean, look, the last time we saw them, there was some type of trailer for bringing in the Marvel universe, into which we talked before about having the Black Panther at the top of one of the mountains, stuff like that.
Now I have played Fortnite and it was fun while I played.
Were you building while you were shooting?
Not.
Did you learn? Did you learn how to build?
Yeah, but I was nowhere near as quick as everybody else is, and I played that roughly back when it first came out. So now I know I have no shot. No shot. I'll get tooled by some little 9-year-old kid, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I know where my skills lie.
So before we talk about the actual release of the PlayStation and the digital and everything else like that, we had one more little teaser trailer that I know I sure as shit wasn't expecting, and I know a lot of other people weren't expecting.
It's a nice way to drum up some excitement at the end of a kind of lackluster event.
Definitely was. And this game is 100% coming out 2021. That's what they said. Hopefully that's true. I mean, with the way things have been getting delayed and shit, you never know.
It seems like it's going to be so massive, even if it does get delayed, people are going to get it.
Oh, hell yeah. And it is God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah, that's like...
We literally have nothing else on it.
That enough should drum up some excitement. That had the same feel to me. Well, not for purposes of me having played the other games, but I got the same excitement seeing that title screen as I did when I saw Xbox release Fable. Yes. Right? And this is coming from someone who's never played... No, I played the original God of War. I haven't played any of the newer one. The new one.
Boy.
Yeah. But it... I'm sure it's going to be fantastic.
Oh, I fully expect it.
I am super excited to finally get to see some at some point.
Yes. Hopefully when they do some type of E3 style event next year. I say E3 style because God knows what the hell's going to happen. But hopefully when that happens, we might be able to actually see something from them.
Yeah, so that was it as far as announcement trailers, cinematic gameplay trailers, and stuff like that. So now we're going to get into why everyone probably tuned into this to begin with, which is, the price, the release date, and some funky stuff we get to cover that a lot of people are not happy with Sony about, myself included.
So we finally got the prices. So the PS5 that has the disc, that's going to be $499.
Which puts you right up there with the Series X.
Exactly with the Series X, which is cool. And then the digital edition is $399.
Yes.
Now, there are still a few little things that we don't know about the digital edition. Like, we don't even know what the storage size is yet on it. There's no information on that.
I thought it said the storage size was 825.
I haven't seen anything to say that.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
I have no issue, recanting what I said, but I haven't seen anything in particular. But obviously, with the digital, you have no disk drive, and it's a little bit of a slimmer system. But the PS5 and the digital are both the tallest systems that have ever been made. So you gotta think about that. The motherfucker's huge. This thing, what is it? 15 and 3/4 inches tall. It's a big ass system.
It sure is. It sure is.
And next week's episode that you guys are going to hear is going to be the Console Wars final battle, into which the three of us will, Anthony will be back, so the three of us will go ahead and discuss everything about these consoles, everything next gen. And we'll talk about the dimensions of them, the resolutions, the storage. We'll break everything down for you guys. And then, give our own opinions about, how we feel and what we think, because all three of us are going to buy both systems anyway. So that's regardless of, anything else. So we're just going to go ahead and just let you guys know how we feel.
Yeah. I do believe that they're both going to be 825. That's what it seems. 825 gigs, which is less than...
Look, it's less than the X, but it's more than the S.
Yeah.
So
now, the one good thing that I will say is if that is the case, the cool thing about that is if you don't feel the need to buy physical copies of games, the digital, saving that $100 on the digital edition of the game, the system itself, you're getting the same capabilities as the one with the disc drive.
Yes.
Just no disc. It's not like you're getting a dumbed down system that doesn't have the same, power and all that stuff. Everything is still the same. So don't think that, because the system's $100 cheaper, that you're getting a dumbed down system. You're just getting... No, you're just going to have to buy
They just took out the drive.
Yeah, and from talking more with Anthony and how I've been over the last year, you seem to find better deals on games on the PlayStation Store already. You find games that are frequently on there for anywhere between 20 and 60% off. They always have their PlayStation Plus deals and stuff like that. So you seem to find better deals in there than you do in stores. Like when we just bought Remnant, it was on sale in the store. The original game was on sale for $35. We went on the PlayStation Store, got the game with the DLCs on sale for $30.
Now, I will go ahead and say that another thing that happened at this PS5 event was that they dropped basically their version of Game Pass. And
not really, though, now that we have more knowledge on that.
We will get more into that next week. Because, dude, with what Xbox is doing with the Game Pass Ultimate and everything else, dude, it is going to be a point of contention to go ahead and to have within the conversation.
Okay, well, I was just saying as far as, this actually isn't what we thought it was.
No. But it is one of those things that we will go ahead and discuss. I just want to point out that it's there. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
And they did have a bunch of older games, but first party games.
Yeah, really good titles.
You mean that were a part of it? Yes.
Really, really solid titles.
Yeah.
So Wes covered the price, $500 for the disc and $400 for the digital. And
I keep on calling it discless, but I realize how quickly that can go bad. So I probably should start saying digital.
So you don't call it like a dickless system?
Yes.
Yeah, probably a good idea. But so now we also have a date, which is officially...
So it officially releases on November 12th.
Yep, November 12th. So that's 2 days.
2 days after the X.
Which, we talked about here when we didn't know the concrete dates, when we were trying to figure out what we were going to get first. And I was like, I'll get Xbox first unless they're super close.
The information that was originally given was that, or not originally given, but the information that we had, that was through rumors and leaks and stuff like that, was that you were going to get them about 7 days apart, between two game systems. Into which, if that's the case, that shouldn't make or break which one you buy first.
No, but now, because this,
yeah,
we'll cover this first.
I'm letting you handle all this because this is your frustration with it.
Yeah, well, I share this frustration with lots of people,
dude. I've heard it from a handful of people, but you dealt with it firsthand. So
y'all have heard me say, like I just said, that if they were released close enough together, Xbox and PlayStation, granted, I want them, and I will start all of this by saying, if you have the means, you're crazy to not get all of these systems, a Switch included. There are such great gaming experiences to be had on the Series X that's coming and on the PS5, and they both have reasons for getting them. So if you have the means, I would suggest getting both of them. You don't have to have some blind allegiance to one. You're going to get great gaming experiences with both.
Absolutely.
I plan on having both. But for me, my plan was, if they came out close enough together, I was going to get the PS5 first, mainly because the games there's more games that I can only play on PlayStation right away that I want to play. So that would just be the first one that I would get. But Sony has potentially kind of taken that decision out of my hands because somehow they flubbed this whole release thing. They didn't. Now, a couple weeks ago, they gave the ability to give your email address and stuff like that to be put on a list, to be given information when the pre-orders would start, which I filled out. Anthony filled out. I don't know if you filled out.
I did not.
Right? So I've been waiting for that. I've been checking my emails constantly, and I was like, oh, cool. Now, as soon as, once we got the price and the release date at this event on Wednesday, I was like, well, now I really got to start paying attention to when that thing comes. So I wake up the next morning, and I'm going through going through Twitter and news like I normally do, and I see that everywhere is already sold out of consoles that have them. And I was like, well, why do places have consoles already? And I was not notified of this. Well, apparently someone, somewhere, somehow in Sony kind of botched that and didn't actually tell people that pre-orders were going live right when that happened. So by the next day, every single place, PlayStation, GameStop, Walmart, Target, all of your retail stores, their inventory was gone.
So another thing that I can tell you is, so Alex from What's Your Spaghetti Policy podcast, I've been talking with him about all this stuff as well, because he's a diehard Sony allegiance guy. And when this whole thing, when it ended, the whole PS5 event, he got a phone call from one of his boys who he used to work at GameStop with years ago, who still has a handful of ties within that company. And he was told, get your ass to GameStop, pre-order this thing. And Alex was like, but it's not time. He goes, no, it's going now. So there has been a lot of issue that a lot of people are taking with this. Not to mention, most places only had anywhere from 12 to 17 units available.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To go ahead and pre-order themselves. And places like GameStop and like Best Buy, those are places, who have lists of people going ahead and saying, okay, let me know when this stuff happens. They're being, people are calling, these customers while ringing people up, doing their last ones, for pre-orders. So
yeah, I am now on a list to be notified by Amazon when more come in. Walmart, they didn't have that option for Best Buy or GameStop, which is kind of frustrating. But basically, I'm just on like a watch, wait, and see thing every day.
Be careful with Amazon, because I did just read an article saying that Amazon's not even going to be able to guarantee that they can get you the console at release date.
I assumed that was going to be an issue with some of them, but that's
just
fair enough. Yeah,
just throwing that out there. I'm trying to give you as much information as I can.
But that's very, very frustrating. I am not used to Sony flubbing much, let alone something this big, and rightfully so. Microsoft is having a field day with it. I think it's funny. I'd be doing the same thing if I was them.
I think it's fucking hilarious.
They're basically coming out and hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Talking about PlayStation saying, like, don't worry, we'll let you guys know exactly when, which they did. They gave people a concrete time and date as to when pre-orders start, so there is no guesswork.
Yes, so I did say earlier that the date for the pre-orders is September 22nd, but the time has already been released now, and the time is 11 a.m. Eastern Standard. So,
be on at 10.
Basically, wherever you are, just make sure you understand what your time is, but they've also, they've also said that they haven't had an issue with even thinking that they're going to have a problem when it comes down to selling the units. I don't know how many they have per place, but I know for a fact that it's not 12 to 17.
Yeah, so I don't know what they're going to do exactly. I don't know if this is just how it is now for Sony, and because they messed up, now it's just you got to check every day and see if you're lucky enough that they get a few more in that you can pre-order.
We'll see.
But that's very, very irritating, because we've been waiting for these forever.
Yes.
And then, like, the most important part of making sure that you get one when you want one, they have screwed up.
Yep.
And that is a little more than mildly irritating.
Yeah, they screwed that up fucking royally.
Yes. Anthony was lucky enough that his email was one of the ones selected, so he was actually able to pre-order his yesterday. I did all the same things that he did. I wasn't lucky enough to be selected. That is what it is, I guess. But now I'm on high alert, looking on all these websites to make sure that I can snag one.
So all in all, what would you give the event? Since we've been grading this shit since we've been doing it, so we might as well just keep it going.
I don't know. I mean, they've done so well on the last ones that like it's hard for me to give them more than just like an average, like a C plus for me. I don't even know that I can go C plus. Like I feel like
C plus is a little high.
Like C, I think is just average only because let's go through everything they had. Like
Oddworld, nothing
you know what?
new.
No, you know what? I'll give them a C plus only because they gave me two things that looked really good that I didn't expect. They gave me Final Fantasy. Okay. They gave me Hogwarts. That's great. But everything else, Call of Duty, we saw some already. We didn't see, that's stuff we really already know. Oddworld, they gave us
nothing.
If anything, they gave us less. Resident Evil,
same with Resident Evil.
If anything, they gave us less.
Yeah.
Deathloop, they gave us a little more. But like I said, even the things that they showed us didn't give us enough to make us go, oh, yeah, I'm definitely getting it. Or, oh, no, I don't want to get that now.
Yeah.
Like it kind of just left you there.
Yep.
So for me, it would be a C plus. It didn't really knock my socks off, especially because the price we also all knew anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Xbox came out $500. You know they're going to match it. You know what I mean? The only question for me was going to be the
digital.
The digital.
Yeah.
Because I was like, knowing that the Series S was going to be $300. I said Series S, and Siri just thought I said something about Series S.
I won't respond to that.
What an ass. Thank you. But yeah, so it'd be a C plus for me. I mean, I'm assuming at this point, even if Xbox came out with another one, this console war I don't think is going to be a far cry from politics in the sense that if your mind is made up on what you're going with and what you're getting first, I don't know that anything's going to sway it at this point. So
yeah, you're right.
Regardless of the fact that I'm giving it a C plus, it's still the first system that I want to get. And, even if it was an A plus for you, it would probably, nothing was going to sway you either way.
Nah, I mean, look, I'm
C plus for me.
I'm leaning much towards of a C plus. Only reason I'm not going higher is because of like Abe's Oddworld, and even though I don't play Resident Evil, I still would like to see more of it. You know what I'm saying?
You still want to know what.
But like, I mean, the plus mainly comes from for me the trail. I mean, the teaser trailer for Ragnarok, and also getting more for Deathloop. That basically puts it just barely above average.
Yeah, basically. And again, for me, and I forgot to put Ragnarok in there. If it wasn't for that Final Fantasy and Hogwarts, which are things that I had no clue about,
yeah,
it would have just been a C for me.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I guess they can't all be bangers. But
no,
I'm sure people that are listening are probably like, oh, he's the PlayStation guy. I'm sure he's going to find a way to give it an A, right? Nope. I'm as fair as I can be.
And look, man, you and I we were talking throughout the entire thing, and you said before me that this one seems a little lackluster.
Yeah.
And because I was kind of biting my tongue because I'm like, all right, let me go ahead and see what Andy thinks first. You know what I mean? Because
Jacob did too.
Yes,
kind of.
On Twitter, yeah. He was putting it out.
He was saying that hopefully this thing picks up or they release some bangers or whatever because this seems basically the same as the last one.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But yep, it gets a C from me, bro. C plus. I'm sorry.
C plus, and then it's also getting a C plus from me. All right. So what we're going to do now is we are going to break down what we heard, and this is going to be fairly quick. Break down what we heard from the PAX Online Gearbox event, and we're going to talk about what we found out. So Gearbox Software and 2K confirmed that Borderlands 3 is going to be full gen supported, and they're going to give us new skill trees, new add-on content, and for those couch co-op players, you're getting a vertical split screen. So now you have a choice of vertical or horizontal, and you're also getting 4-player local co-op if you wanted to go ahead and break it down just into 4 individual squares on your screen. So I love the fact that we're getting a new skill tree. And for months I've been going ahead and seeing people basically breaking down what's in like the patchworks and stuff like that, and finding different things about these different skill trees. Like Flack is getting a little loader bot as his pet.
Sick.
And like Mose is getting a little mini cub. You know what I mean? So Iron Cub instead of Iron Bear, and the Iron Cub stays out with you at all times, like like Flax Pets, from what I've been able to hear. And Amara has some type of different phase thing that she can do. I forget exactly what it's called. And Zane can essentially Digistruct like a gun and go ahead and just go ham on people. You know what I mean? As part of his, because what they're doing is they're giving you different specials to where that you can access the abilities of different mods. You know what I mean? From shields and artifacts and stuff like that. Because a lot of these are like, well, this works. This works for 60 seconds after your skill ends or during a skill happening. You know what I mean? So so you always have to worry about that stuff, because with Zane you can run with that shit the entire fucking time. You know what I mean? Zane's shit can just run basically the whole fucking game. So another cool thing with this is, so you can port over Borderlands 3 over to the next gen games, and when you do that, it's not going to cost you anything. So it gives you that smart delivery thing, and on top of that, all of your saved and purchased content is coming over with it. So you don't have to replay the whole game again. Everything comes with.
Well, that is well thought out.
It is. It's very well thought out, and I love that. Another thing is that the game will be running at 60 frames per second at 4K resolution. So it's gonna be much crisper, and crisper cell shaded games are always fun.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna argue with that. And like I said before, we are now going to get the vertical split screen, which adds a little something different. I mean, depending on how you want to play, whether vertical or horizontal. And then if you wanted 4 people to play at once in your house, you now can.
Yeah.
You now have that couch co-op for 4 people to play at one time.
Sick.
And that's just fucking insane. So you are going to, they said that we're going to get more DLCs, you know what I mean, beyond, because this last one that came out for Krieg and the Fustercluck, that one is the last of the season pass. But starting with the next gen stuff, we are going to be getting a new game mode, as well as like these skill trees and these new action skills. And they gave us a little bit of a trailer to go ahead, or not trailer, but a little bit of gameplay to go ahead and show us what's going to happen with Flak. So like I said, Flak had his little loader dude, who came around. He also has his new effect is some type of gravity thing. He picks people up in the air and then slams them to the ground. So it's kind of like a badass phase grasp, type of thing. So definitely makes it interesting. And like I said, all that's coming out fucking next gen, dude. So I'm glad I don't have to spend another $60 on the game, because I know I would have. Or $70, because that's also where a lot of these games are going now. A lot of these games, the prices are increasing.
I'm so excited, yet so sad at the same time, because think about how long we wait for these console generations, and knowing that like once November hits, God willing, we're still doing this podcast, but we'll be like looking well towards, if not already, 40 before the next time we're doing this.
Ain't that some shit?
That is some shit. I mean,
probably. I would say. If you're looking towards 40, that means I am fucking 40 at least.
Yeah. Well, think console generations are generally somewhere between like 6 and 8 years, right? 5 and 8,
roundabout
5 and 7, something like that.
Yeah.
So.
I turned 35 this year.
I just turned 32. So yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's possible. So like all this excitement, like I'm gonna be so happy once the systems get here and be like, oh man, I can't wait for the next one now.
Can't wait for the next one to where I'm that much closer to retirement.
You're looking at that, I'm like, I'm that much closer to death.
All right, so that's what we had out of the PAX Online event. It had to do with Gearbox. So, you ready for it?
Hell yeah.
Let's go into some news. I only got 4 quick stories. This is going to be a quick
Why wasn't
one.
that part of news? That last one.
The Gearbox stuff?
Yeah.
I don't know, because I said in the beginning that it was part of our normal stuff. So
okay.
First thing I want to talk about. Remember we were watching Unknown 9, or not Awakening. That's what it was. That game with that little girl where she like.
Where I said, was there 8 before that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, so that company was just bought by so the company developer, which is Reflector, was bought by Bandai Namco.
Did it not say Bandai Namco on the thing?
They might have been working with it, but now they actually own it.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, look, that game looked fucking incredible, even though all we had was cinematic, but it just looked pretty.
I wonder why they were just purchased. Like, I wonder if there was like some contention in there on how the game's direction should go, and
So maybe they just felt like, all right, we're just going to take
Screw
this.
it, we got the money. If you're willing, we'll buy it. Do it
Yeah.
our way.
Yeah, so I mean, once again, like I said, man, fairly short story, so that's one. Next one I have. So we've gotten a bunch of fucking trailers for Beyond Good and Evil 2. We've gotten just shit back and forth about that game for a while.
Jesus, I totally forgot about that game.
I've been watching a bunch of stuff on YouTube about that game recently. And as of next year, they have enough internally built into this game to where they can offer actual gameplay for us to see.
Okay.
Fucking finally. This shit's been like fucking at least 2 years. You know what I mean, of going ahead and seeing fucking cinematics.
Yeah. You're right.
But yeah, so that's going to be, and
I feel like I haven't waited that long for a game since Borderlands 3.
I know, right? It's been fucking long ass times we waited like that.
But the difference is, like, Borderlands 3, we waited forever just to see anything. This, we've had at least cinematics for like 2 years.
That is true. That is true. So my next piece of news is something that I did touch on earlier, was that Horizon Forbidden West and Spider-Man Miles Morales are also going to be coming to the PS4. So obviously with them coming to the PS4, don't expect the haptic feedback. You know, you don't expect anything like that, but you'll be able to just go ahead and just get the same type of play.
My recommendation, if you have the willpower, if you know you're going to be getting the PS5, just wait and experience it how, I guess, the best way that it can be experienced, is what I would say. If you have the willpower to hold out.
And
Which there's so many damn games out, I feel like you should be able to.
Another game that they're talking about that's also going to be launched for PS4 is going to be Sackboy: A Big Adventure.
Okay.
So that's the Little Big Planet type stuff.
Yeah, platformer.
Yeah. And the last one that I have has to do with one of your favorite game franchises, Uncharted.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
the movie is in production with Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland, you know what I mean, playing the roles of Sully and Nathan Drake, you know, respectfully.
Yeah.
You sound like Wayne over here, man, from Letterkenny.
Yeah.
So a lot of fans are actually unhappy that Mark Wahlberg is not sporting a stash in this movie.
See, I almost can't even be mad at that immediately because I was already kind of upset when I saw that Mark Wahlberg was cast as Sully anyway. Because when you play these games, you have an idea of the type of person that would play. And I have nothing against Mark Wahlberg. I think he's a very nice person from what I've seen. He does a lot of good stuff. I just don't think he was right for that role. But we just talked about this. Wait to kill something after it's done. Have an open mind. This world would be such a better place if everyone would just have an open mind.
True.
Have an open mind. See it, or wait until it's free and then see it. And then, if it's dog shit, by all means tear into it. You have every right.
I mean, I will also say that this version of Sully is also a much younger version of Sully than anybody's ever seen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, maybe take that into consideration.
Well, here's the problem. Even now, I didn't get through all of Uncharted 4, so I don't know if there's any references or anything in there. But as far as the first the first 3 Uncharted games, even the earliest depiction of Sully that you get, he has a mustache. So that's probably why it's throwing people off, is because even at the earliest we've seen him. So, because here's what's weird. In Uncharted 3, is it Uncharted 3? Yeah, where you play as Nathan Drake as a kid when he first meets Sully. He appears far younger than whatever Tom Holland's going to be playing. Like, Tom Holland looks like he's playing like maybe a slightly older version of him. Obviously not quite an adult yet, but a slightly older version. And when he was young, Sully had a mustache. So that's what's weird about this. So I can understand. And when you see, like, you think that mustache when you see Sully.
It has caused the Uncharted world to get in quite a tizzy.
Hey, you know what? If it really means that much to you, granted it was CGI. They got Sonic. They got Sonic changed. So maybe they'll make him go back and reshoot with a mustache.
Or they could always do the reverse Superman. You know what In Justice League, Henry Cavill had a mustache that they CGI'd out.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
It looks
Technology.
fucking, dude. It looks fucking weird though. It looks so
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I'm just as frustrated just because I don't know how it's gonna work. But again, I've been wrong before. I'm not gonna act like just because I've played the games that all of a sudden Mark Wahlberg can't do a good job to make it a good enough movie. So I'm gonna let them.
You're gonna let the movie speak for itself, and
Yeah.
then you'll be as critical as you want.
Shocker! Like I'm gonna wait and see first, and then I'm gonna critique it.
That's fine.
I mean, I feel like that's the fair thing to do. That's the fair thing to do. I'm very skeptical, but I'm gonna give it a shot. But yeah, that. And should I talk about what I said in there before, also with Tom Holland?
Go ahead.
Yep, it's rumored for him to be playing Link in something Legend of Zelda for Netflix, which is funny because when we had that episode about who we would cast for certain movies, he's exactly who I picked, I believe, correct?
Pretty
To play
sure.
Link?
Pretty sure.
Yeah. That'd be so cool.
Perfect.
That'd be so cool.
I honestly can't think of much of a better casting, honestly.
Yeah, now I don't know if that's a movie or if that would be a series. Whatever it is, that'd be my first Netflix binge in a while.
Because you know something? Netflix got the money to do whatever the fuck they want.
Indeed they do.
All right, so that's what we got in news. So, Andy, it's been a while, but now you get to tell us what you are playing.
So I finally, after all the shit going on with my basement and finally having my basement back, all things ready to rock, everything hooked up, I finally had time to sit down, take that damn Last of Us Part 2 out of the cellophane. Oh, it was a good decision. So I started it. Really, I might as well just say I started it yesterday because I started it a few days ago, but only played for I thought I was going to have more time, played it for 10 minutes, and then I forget life. Yeah. So I stopped. But I got a good hour and a half in yesterday, and I love it. It is great. Now, it sucks that I didn't get a chance to do with it what I would normally do when there's only one game before it and go back, play the original one just to refresh myself.
Yeah.
With the story and the characters. I didn't get to do that, so I'm still piecing together if I know who certain people are. If I don't, obviously I remember Ellie and Joel. So that's, that was standard, but there's certain elements of the game that I love. I love how when you are, walking, the cover system, you don't have to click a button to get into cover. If you're crouched and you go next to a car or a wall, she or whoever you're playing as instinctively leans up against it.
Okay.
Same thing with your standing, as long as whatever it is taller or wider than you, she'll do it. So that was really cool. I love and I don't remember if you could the first time, being able to go completely prone, go under cars. You can do stuff like that.
I watched the Spaghetti Boys play because Jacob went through the whole game.
Remember.
I don't think I saw him go prone.
Yeah, I feel like that was something new. That was really cool. The addition, the graphics look great as I anticipated they would.
Yeah.
The addition of horses was cool. Being able to ride a horse around, that's pretty dope. Again, I'm not super far, so I don't know certain things. I ran into my first clicker, which if you finally play the remastered version of the original one, yeah, I mean, basically. You watched him play, so you probably saw a clicker in the first game.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, they're completely blind, but obviously have insane hearing ability.
Yeah.
So you got to be super slick, and you have to take them out via stealth with your knife, because if they see you, they're a whole freaking handful. Or if they hear you, I should say. They're a whole.
And aren't they
handful.
Ding. Yeah,
Did
one.
I?
Yeah, one.
Oh shit.
Aren't they normally within groups? Clickers, they're
well, yeah, the first place.
Whenever you see one, there's normally 2 or 3.
Well, yeah, the first place I ran into them, there was 2, but then the next location I was at, there was only 1. But the story already has me thoroughly engrossed, and I enjoy being able to. I've already, with the exception of the one time that they actually make you. I still have yet to use a bullet. I'm all stealth all day,
hell
baby.
yeah.
All
Nice.
stealth all day, baby. Because remember, this game is actually what survival horror would be like. Because when you come across, how do most other games go? You have a gun in your hand, you go out, you find ammo, or you find another gun. It gives you another full
X
magazine,
amount,
probably.
yeah.
Right now, you go, you see it you pull out a drawer, you may find like 1 or 2 bullets in there. So I try to
Kind of has the same feel of Alien Isolation. I mean, it's where bullets are very much a
everything is
commodity.
scarce. Yeah. So I do thoroughly enjoy that. It's I'm having a lot of fun. I'm just excited to play more. Being able to investigate certain things, and you can dismount your horse, go look at go climb in houses and do certain things was cool. They have I came into my first puzzle. I don't remember how puzzle heavy the game actually was, but it I ran into this room that had like a safe, and I saw a note in it that said, the combination to the safe is when my good boy got was the month, or it was the date that my good boy won Employee of the Month, because I was in like a supermarket or something like that. So I went out the door, and at first I was actually kind of confused, right? Because I saw like the Employee of the Month billboard, and I'm looking at all these things, and I'm looking at all these pictures, and I'm like, okay, there's plenty of dudes. Like, how the hell do I know? And then I saw one that was a dog, and it said my good boy got Employee of the Month. So I was like, that's the one.
There you go.
So I do like a little, I like a puzzle element in games.
Yeah.
Always do. But yeah, I'm excited from what I've seen so far. I'm excited to keep going. One of the most fun parts was when the game first started. Ellie's talking to this chick. I forget her name. It's actually the chick that I'm with right now. And as I'm talking to her, this kid just like blasted me in the chest with a snowball. This little kid. And then the chick I was talking to turns to me and she's just like, "Do you want to fuck him up?" And I was like, yes,
Yeah,
I do.
fucking right.
Yo, ask my wife the next time you see her. There was like 3 kids that were snowball fighting. The whole time I did nothing but chased after that kid that beat me in the chest. I disregarded every other kid and just pelted this little kid.
Fucking love it.
Yeah, I lit his shit up. But that was fun, just running around. Like, they find a fun, a way to make the tutorial more fun and learn certain buttons and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Outside of that, I've been playing a little more 2K, just furthering my
Career.
I'm like 32 games in. I've been a starter for like 10 games now. I just got my first Player of the Month. I got Player of the Week, Player of the Month. I'm second in voting for the All-Star game for point guards. I'm right behind Kyrie, but he only has like 100,000 more votes than me, so I'm sure I'm going to surpass him.
Go get it.
I'm trying. The one problem I'm having with that game that I've had with previous titles is a freezing issue. Like, every second or third game will freeze at like the end of the half or in the third quarter. The only way to get past that is because when it freezes in the middle of a game, if you get the blue screen of death, as we call it, or if you turn your system off, when you go back in, it puts you, like, it doesn't take you back to the start menu or anything. It puts you right back at that game, just in the beginning of it. But you can never finish it out. You get to the same spot and it freezes. So the only way to get around that is, as soon as that game starts, to hit start, sim to end. But when you sim to end, you don't get
anything.
You don't get your points or anything like that. So you forego an entire game of points. Now they like basically simulate what your stats might be. So you do still get stats, but you don't get any VC or anything.
But you don't get
that.
anything to go ahead and help upgrade you.
No, and it's really frustrating because it happens far too often. Out of 30 games, I've had to sim through, I think, like 4 or 5 maybe.
Yeah, that sounds infuriating.
Yeah, it's really annoying, and I've only ever dealt with that with 2K, and this isn't the first title that I've dealt with that with. Whatever the last one I played with, I ran into that issue. It freezes all too much. So I'm hopeful that they fix that in 2K21.
Guess we'll see.
But yeah, that's what I've been playing. I'm actually excited. If there weren't fights that I was watching tonight, I'd play more Last of Us tonight, but I'll probably get some in tomorrow during the week.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't done much of anything, honestly. Last night, I got drunk and played Fall Guys, to be completely honest.
That sounds like a winning night. And I do also, by the way, I know I said that I would Twitch myself playing this game, but I'm still in the process of actually setting my basement back up. I just got so excited to finally be back down there that I'm just trying to enjoy it for a little bit. So at some point, I'll Twitch something, be it a 2K game or when Ant and I played Shell or something.
All right.
Something I'll get it once I get it set up. I'm still trying to like logistically figure out
where you want things to be, how you want things to be. Yeah, I get it.
Do things.
Yeah, like I said, this week has been much more work heavy for me because somebody at my work caught COVID. So I had to take their responsibilities. So I've been very tired at the end of my day. So I've just been kind of just spending time with the wife, you know what I mean, in the living room. Haven't really been had a chance to get down to the man cave this week.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I went down last night. I wasn't planning on doing anything crazy, like any type of aliens. I just want to go ahead and just fuck around last night. So, like I said, I had a few drinks, had a few Tito's. And
the old Tito, huh?
Dude, that shit goes down. That shit goes down smooth, bro.
Did Uncle Tito do you right, son?
Man, I woke up today feeling a little
Ooh.
But yeah, so I went ahead and threw down.
Don't want to get touched by Uncle Tito.
Threw down with Shelby and Clyburn and Hov. You know what I mean? So it was fun. I made it to the final, maybe like 3 or 4 matches. Nah, I didn't win any, but I made it to the finals a few times. But yeah, man, that's all I had. Look, man, it's been a banger of episode, man. I've had a good time talking about this stuff.
Hell yeah.
So since Anthony's not here to take us out,
yes,
Andy,
I get the job today.
And he gets the opportunity to go ahead and tell y'all where you gonna find the CGC.
And as I'm sitting here about to say I'm not going to do any weird-ass voices, you hit me with that shit. You sounded like Rocky Balboa for a second. But yes, it is that time to connect with CGC, everybody. So the best place you can get in touch with us is our Twitter, which is at Console Crew. That's the place where we have probably the heaviest interaction with everybody. So that is, again, at Console Crew. Also, you can check out our website, which is consolegamingcrew.com. Now, you go on there. All of our episodes are released on there. We're going to do a little bit better with getting some blogs up on there. There's a little backstory on us. You can check all that stuff out. We also have a YouTube, which is Console Gaming Crew. YouTube, all of our episodes that are from here, you can check out on there. We also have a video, if you didn't get a chance to see it yet, which was us doing a Hot Ones challenge for our 1-year anniversary. That's up there.
And we also have the Avengers beta that I played and my review of it.
Yep, that is also up there 100%. You can check us on Instagram, Console Gaming Crew on Instagram. We don't do as much with that. We're gonna get better. We are also a Console Gaming Crew on Facebook. That is probably the last place you want to check us out because, admittedly, that's on me. I should do more with that, but you can check us out there. We also have a Gmail. You can get to us at consolegamingcrew@gmail.com. Send us any questions, comments, concerns, anything.
Or if you have topics, you want something for us to talk about, you can send it to us there too.
We are willing to cover anything, and we are also doing our best to push our Twitch streams. Wes's is the most important for everyone as of right now. We're trying to get this man to affiliate, so please help us out. He is Dragon_CGC.
Yep.
You can get Anthony, which is CGC_Squishy Soprano. That's SQUISHY Soprano, SOPRANO. And I am Scooby CGC. That's with a K, SKOOBY CGC. Anthony and I will do more twitching soon. Wes is pretty much doing the bulk of it for us.
And that's only roughly every Friday. So
roughly every Friday.
I need to try to get twice a weekend.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does Freaky Friday to the best of his abilities. Every Friday, we pick a horror game from him to play. He plays it out, and then once he finishes that, we
pick a new one for me to get.
Pick a new one for him, and we've been doing our best to let everybody would put up a Twitter poll.
Yeah,
let people choose. But that's where you can get in touch with us, and please, man, drop us a line, give us something. Like Wes said, wherever you listen to us, wherever there's a rating system, please give us 5 stars, comment, or whatever star you feel like we deserve.
Yeah,
whatever star you feel like we deserve.
Hopefully it's 5.
Hopefully if it's 5. If it's not, leave us a comment as to why it's not 5, and we'll do our best to fix it if we can.
But all right, so that's all we got. So stay safe, y'all. Wash your hands. As always,
get your game on.
Get your game on, y'all.